Let the wind flow through. Let the wind flow right on through, right on through. I'm seeing a keyhole, like from an old 100+ years ago style door, the kind you would put a skeleton key in, a keyhole. Someone looking through the keyhole, having someone look through the keyhole at you, thinking that, perhaps wondering if you're being spied upon, but the eye on the other side of the keyhole is another one of your own eyes. Here's the eye, right up here. This eye in the sky, looking down. This is the 10 of air. Rainbow angel wings and rainbow butterflies. The eye looking down. Moving beyond binocular vision, remembering that you have infinite eyes, infinite eyes. Learning to turn on the channel that will allow you to perceive what those other eyes are seeing. It's opening the shutters so that you can see what you're already looking at. Second house is Taurus energy. There's a pyramid on this coin here. It's the 5th point that makes the pyramid. You have 4 points on your piece of paper. It's just a square, but when you make the 5th point and then connect the lines, that's when you create a new dimension. That's when you raise it up to create the new dimension. The power of sound. Spiritual sovereignty. And energy transmission with Arcturian energy. So we got Vegan energy, Essassani energy, and Arcturian energy. Music And even sounds that don't appear to be musical are going to become increasingly significant for many of us, whether we notice it or not. Some of us who are very auditory, who are very sound oriented, are going to notice this. Some of us won't be noticing it as much, but it will be just as significant in the background, where as we experience the breakdown of linear communication and linear thought, sound and music as a auditory expression of source energy becomes even more significant and even more satisfying and even more of a way of communing with all that is. This includes sounds you might be hearing around your house, especially if you're having a problem with a recurring, irritating sound. Literally every sound, literally every single sound, if you can hear it, plus all of the sounds that you can't even hear because of the limitations of your human ears, all of the sound waves that hit your body are conveying something to you. If there is something you have not been able to integrate, it will come through on the air, on the sound waves, and it will reach you that way. This is also important because it takes you out of verbal communication. It takes you out of verbal communication. All of the human languages that we speak, even though they are each unique and present their own benefits and limitations, human verbal language is evolving rapidly, but not rapidly enough to, in this moment, in our next few years, right, in the next decade or two, human verbal language is not evolving quickly enough to keep pace with the evolution of consciousness. Consciousness is actually outstripping our verbal ability. So other modes of communication are going to become more significant for energy transmissions, for spiritual transmissions. This is not actually a problem. That might seem like a, why can't we just get better with words? But it's actually a form of protection, because of the power of verbal communication can actually interfere with our spiritual sovereignty. Can actually interfere with our spiritual sovereignty, because when someone tells you something, there are many different ways for you to accept, reject, integrate, interact with, react to. Every single word we speak is a powder keg, is a potential powder keg. And when we speak to each other, we are speaking programming at each other. This can be great, this can be wonderful, this can be benevolent and beautiful and useful and helpful. It can also be the opposite of those things. So there can be a phase, a space of experience. There can be a space of experience where the more we try to engage in verbal communication, just be aware of when communicating verbally, either speaking or receiving, transmitting words or receiving words, just to be aware of how that feels to you. Is that helping you ground energy? Is it helping you connect with others? Is it helping you understand something you didn't understand before in a good feeling kind of way? Or is it making you feel more confused? Is it making you feel like you're in the blender? If you are continuously seeking verbal communication, almost like the way that you would reach for candy if you're stress eating, if you're stress communicating, that could be a sign to take a step back and explore other modes of communication, to allow energy transmissions to come through in other ways, and largely through sound, but that's just one thing. It can also be physical, right? Physical environment, the physical environment. Taurus energy, so the earth, the dirt, the leaves, the grass, the trees, your dog, your cat, your physical body, the ants on the cement, on the concrete, the clouds in the sky, the physical environment, allowing that to communicate to you as well. The void mind, your personal void mind, also the void mind as a more abstract consciousness, is on the spiral path down into the physical, including down into your own body, which is at odds with the grounded mind, with the physical mind, with the meat brain, with the dirt mind, right? With the mind and the brain of the earth, right? With the mind and the brain of the earth. It is at odds, not because anything is wrong with this, only because they are unfamiliar to each other. Only because they are unfamiliar to each other. They are like people who once knew each other long ago in the very, very beginning, when they were brand new, but who went separate ways, became unrecognizable to each other, and now they meet again. And even though there is the barest glimmer of recognition, they have almost no avenue to connect. They have almost no common ground. There is almost no way to communicate. But there is some, since they are aware of each other and since they are aware of coming closer together, there are some conduits, there are some paths, there are some sensory experiences that are interconnecting, and many of those are within the human experience, within the human body, within the human mind. You are the space within which the void mind and the earth mind can meet and learn about each other and learn how to interact. The void mind being abstract and disembodied. Five of Swords, Two of Swords, and Queen of Swords, independence, this spiritual sovereignty. The void mind, the abstract mind, the higher mind. Is on its downgoing, is on its own dissension cycle. Dissension not being bad. Dissension simply being the path of specification, the path of precision, going from thinking everything all at once to crystallizing all of this into something that can be embodied, something that can be individuated. The path of precision, becoming precise, becoming communicable, becoming embodied. The earth mind. Eight of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. King of Wands. The earth mind on its ascension cycle. Ascension not being better than descension. Ascension being expansion, which involves breaking itself open in order to expand, creating space, creating pockets of space, creating space where there was no space before, walking to the horizon, finding that the horizon is a wall, creating a portal through the wall, or dissolving the wall entirely and creating a whole new space, knowing that as you walk past the boundaries of your reality, more reality is created by you as you walk out into the unknown. You create it. If you go there, you will create it. There is no way for you to walk to the edge, because when you approach the edge, you create more in front of you. The path generates itself beneath your feet. So you can walk out into the void knowing that the path will create itself underneath you. Trust in your own expansion. And ultimately, the void mind, the higher mind, and the earth mind, the human brain, meeting here as king and queen. With this third eye in the middle.